All right, let's go ahead and open up the doors, if you would, please, to my wonderful co-hosts that I have here with me on the live Daily with Doc Zoom. Folks, if you are watching the replay or you are watching the live stream and you would like to join us here as a live participant in our program, we are Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50-ish at 12 p.m. Pacific time. That is 1 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Central, and 3 o'clock Eastern time at dailywithdoczoom.com. So we are a resource for an amazing community of people who just have a passion for others. And with that passion, seeing people thrive, not just survive. Folks, when we give our bodies what it needs, the body itself can do some amazing things. My name is Becca Dukes. I am the hostess of this program, Daily with Doc, and I am honored to be able to bring this information to you and your families, your communities in the world, as there's a lot of things that you're not going to hear when you go inside of those great big buildings and they run all those tests and have people and machines everywhere. Because one, they just weren't taught it in school. Folks, nutrition is so, so important. In fact, I saw a funny post this morning. It says, go ahead, eat whatever you want. And then it goes through the athletes that are dying young, boxers dying young, long distance runners dying young. And those that don't exercise. And Dr. Wallach is going to tell us a little bit about it today. They live longer. Well, yes, we need movement. Yes, we need some exercise, but there is some moderation. And when you are doing those things, there's some things that you need to do, very intentional, to make sure that you are supporting the body in the way that it needs to be supported to prevent. We can't prevent. So this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. Our products do not prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But folks, when you give the body what it needs, the body can do some amazing things. And that's part of the science of epigenetics. And in this program, we have with us one of the founding fathers of the science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. Now, Dr. Wallach is coming to us with not just a bunch of book knowledge. He's coming to us with actual physical. He felt in himself. He's done the research himself. He's seen the results himself, and he's put it all into his books. In fact, 23 books altogether, over 70 digital recordings, and almost 100 published reviews of his findings throughout his time as he was gaining a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, a Doctorate of Veterinary Medicine, 3 postdoctorates in pathology, on to teaching nutrition at the college level, and then became a naturopathic physician so that he could actually be taken serious and be able to treat his own kind. Folks, he may treat you like a dog, but you will get better. And I encourage you to listen in to the information that is being shared today. It is empowering. It's things that you can do on your own. I did, and I had some amazing results to the point where I wanted to tell the world. And in that telling the world, I have also been able to create an additional income stream that supports my family and allows me to do what I absolutely love each and every day. And that is to be with you and provide information that helps support life. So, Dr. Wallach, I am so excited to be able to bring to everybody each and every day the Daily with Doc show that is sponsored by dailywithdoc.com. This website does have all the replays from our previous recordings and shows. There's a number of different shows that we've had over the last 3 years, and you will find the majority of the recordings there, including Ask Doc Live, Ask Doc Daily, Daily with Doc, and Q&A with Pharmacist Ben, plus many, many more. Also, what you will find on our website, Dr. Wallach talks about the good foods, bad foods list. You will find that on our website right there in the menu, easy to find. You'll also find a store. Now, this store is for people who have never spoken to anybody about longevity before. You have never spoken to anybody about Dr. Wallach before, and you were not invited to this program by anybody specific. If you were, make sure that you get back with them. They cared enough and took the time to share this program with you and the information because they care. Folks, when you refer somebody to watch a movie, do you get a thank you check? No. When you refer somebody to try a different restaurant, do you get a thank you check? Not usually. That's one thing that we do here with our setup that we have is we are able to refer people and get thank you checks. And when they feel the difference, like I did, you want to keep on sharing. And having that thank you check to help support what you need for your own personal use, for nutrition, for your family, and even to be able to share with your community and support some of your favorite charities is an absolutely wonderful feeling. So let's go ahead and get started, Dr. Wallach. For those that are out on YouTube, we have Sportus out there helping keep the conversation going. Rumble too, I believe. If you're here live with us in the Zoom room and you have a question for Dr. Wallach, make sure that you raise your hand early, like right now. Find that raise hand option, raise your hand. No fail. We have hands go up in the last 10 minutes and we only get to 2 or 3 of you. So we want to make sure that if you have a question that you get your questions answered. Dr. Wallach is wonderful at being able to take what you have going on, looking at symptoms. Because he's done all these autopsies, he's very familiar with how the body is, the whole anatomy, what connects to what happens when something's not getting the blood flow that it needs, the impulses for the nerves are not being delivered. And he gives recommendations on what you can do to support your body in making sure that everything starts to function properly. So Dr. Joel Wallach, if you could join me here on screen, I would love to see your smiling face.
Okay, am I on? There you go.
You're on. Hello, welcome.
Okay, well, this has been a great day so far. We started out early, and it allowed me to do a little bit of book research here to catch up on some current things. We gave I thought, a very useful presentation to one of our health coaches, Deborah, okay, in Alabama, at a church. It was really wonderful to pass on the information, the questions they had asked. They had to do a little bit of research and to answer very specific questions. And they wanted to know, how can we help with hypertension, high blood pressure, particularly in the Black community? And of course, the Black community has hypertension, depending on the state and the town. Usually in the South, it's worse than in the North. But it's usually double what it is in the white community. Hypertension, high blood pressure. It's not a genetic thing. It's not a Black thing, but it superficially appears that way. So I'm kind of digging and looking, and here's what I found. Medicare is going bankrupt right now because of kidney disease. Right now, that's what's in the news. Medicare is going bankrupt because of kidney disease. We're spending $130 billion a year just to treat kidney disease. $130 billion a year just to treat kidney disease. Okay. And kidney disease is 5 times higher, okay? 5 times higher in the Black community than is in the white community in America. Now, is that a genetic thing? No, it's a dietary thing. It's the dietary habits that the Black community's brought along since the slave days, okay? And so we have to reevaluate, do you want to continue doing what you're doing and continuing the way that you're living, or do you want to change everything? Well, first of all, you have to understand the physiology. And I have to put this in the light, so I just did it in pen as opposed to marker. Okay. Your kidneys are responsible for high blood pressure, not your heart.
Why is that?
Ah, okay. Well, the kidneys produce an enzyme, okay, called, let's see here if I can read my writing correctly. Rhina. It's called Rhina. Okay, Rhina is this enzyme when the blood pressure begins to go up. Okay, and when the kidneys produce Rhina, Rhina teaches your kidneys, okay, how to produce a hormone called androtension 2, which begins to help drop the blood pressure. Okay, that's the mechanism there. I didn't know all that detail. Okay, so now I know the detail. And so basically what's happening here is, why is it we have blockages in the arteries of the brain, the heart, the kidneys, everywhere else in the body, the legs and so forth? Why do we have those blockages in the arteries? Is it a genetic thing? No. Is it a disease of the arteries? No. Why is it afflicting the arteries? Okay, well, here we go. When the kidney's job is to filter the blood. Okay, the kidney's job is to make sure the blood comes in. It kind of takes out the bad stuff, puts it in your bloodstream so you can pee it out the other end, right? And so then it's one of those things where if that system, if that program gets interrupted, you get more of this Rhina getting produced, okay? And then the Rhina produces more of the androtension 2, okay, which really tells the kidney, you need to get the blood pressure up because I need to get more blood in here to filter it. So get the blood pressure up, get more blood to me. That's why the blood pressure is going up, because the kidney is telling the blood pressure to go up because it's being blocked in the arteries in the kidneys. So the kidney is the focus of high blood pressure issues, not the heart, not the brain, not the lungs. They're victims. They're not the producers. The producers of high blood pressure are the kidneys, okay? And so that's why doctors like to do kidney transplants, because you get a new kidney in there and suddenly now everything's good for a while. But if you haven't changed your ways, within a couple of years, everything begins to go bad again. Okay, well, you got that gene. No, it's diet. So none of the bad foods, no fried foods. And this, of course, is classic in the African-American community all over the world, where there are the African-Americans in Africa, the African-Americans in Asia, in Europe, in the United States, North America, Canada. It's fried foods, fried potatoes, fried fish, fried vegetables, fried meats, fried bread, fried everything, okay? And so we've got to get away from that. If you want to have a good, healthful life, you can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life just by avoiding the bad stuff. Then we also have a program for immediate life-saving approach. It's called Ultimate Daily Classic Tablets. Ultimate Daily, it makes the kidneys happy. So people say, well, how long is it going to take? Well, I said, give me 90 days, but usually within a week or 10 days, you start seeing benefit. And within a month or two, you don't have high blood pressure anymore. But this is a terrible thing. People say, okay, and they go back to their old ways and stop doing everything. They go back to their old ways. And then within 2-3 months, they're back in the hole again and say, well, it didn't work for me. Well, no. How long do you need oxygen? Well, forever. You can't stop using oxygen because you're getting enough oxygen right now. You need oxygen every second of every minute of every day for the rest of your life. Well, you need to have your blood flow properly into the kidneys, okay, every second of every minute of every day. Otherwise, it releases this enzyme, Rhina, okay, which then tells the kidney to make the hormone, okay, androtension 2, which then drives the blood pressure up, trying to get more blood into the kidney to filter. That's the whole cycle there, okay? and it's making Medicare go bankrupt. $130 billion a year just to treat kidney disease right now. I mean, that's a scary thing when you look at it. Making sure I get all the information to you. I think I got all the information that I wanted to get to you. Okay.
So let me just do a summarization. So we have all of these people with heart disease that are getting medications to lower blood pressure when it's not really a heart issue. It's because the kidneys are putting out this chemical to try to get more blood pumping through them because the blood is slowed because of blockages.
That's correct. Blockages in the kidney.
Now, what would cause the blockages? So is it the
Fried
fried
food?
Or
Yeah, it's because the fried foods burn the oils and fats, turning them into what's called trans fats. They're very inflammatory stuff. It's like putting sulfuric acid on your skin. That's going to burn you. Okay. Well, the same thing is true with these fried oils and fats and so forth. Okay. They cause inflammation in the arteries in the brain, the heart, the kidneys, but it's the inflammation in the arteries in the kidneys that gets all the secondary stuff going on, which then causes the blood pressure because the kidneys are saying, come on, give me some more blood here, body, give me some more blood here, give me some more blood here. So the kidneys are releasing this hormone, okay, which is I'll get it in the light here so I can read it correctly. Okay.
Rhino?
No, that's the enzyme. The hormone is androtensin, there's no I in there, androtensin 2, okay?
Okay, so my question is, if you just cut out fried food, is that going to take care of your blood pressure issues?
Not necessarily, because if you're blocked 80, 90%, you're still blocked 80, 90%. Okay, so you still need to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, which are going to immediately reduce the inflammation and open up those arteries in the kidneys and get the blood flowing in there. And so suddenly now, within hours, you're going to see some benefit. Within days, you're going to see a lot of benefit. Within weeks, you're going to see a lot of benefit, especially if you stopped eating all the fried foods and the oils, no salad dressing, no cooking oils, anything that turns, it gets oxidized. And so if the Black community, whether they live in Asia, whether they live in Europe, whether they live in Africa, and I lived in Africa for 2 years. I lived in the bush with the Zulus and the Matabeles. I didn't live in the cities. I lived in the bush, okay, in the Umflozi and Shishlui game reserves for 2 years, catching the white rhino, the black rhino, and the elephants. And we saved the white rhino. Back then there was only, I think, 350 left in South Africa, and right now there's 21,000 because we built all kinds of great wild animal preserves for them, and we built lakes for them so they'd have permanent water, so they wouldn't be moving out of there. We want them to stay there and plant grasses and things for them because they're grazers, whereas the black rhino are browsers. They eat the branches of the trees, where the white rhino eat grass. And so we had to give them special food to keep them attracted to those areas, and it worked. We went from 350 back in the early 1960s to just last year, in December of last year, almost 6 months ago now, there was 21,000 in an actual count. So I'm breathless with joy that our efforts were, which I say, proved up by the good Lord, and it worked.
So you went from working on saving rhinos to now we're working on preserving the rhino community and making it healthy again and helping it to thrive into humans. So
Yes, same information I learned for rhinos, because I'm doing autopsies and I'm finding out why they died. They're all dying of nutritional deficiencies. And their original thinking was they were all being killed because of their horns, for the horn industry in Asia, for aphrodisiacs and all like a rhino horn kind of stuff. No, that wasn't it. They were all dying and infertile and stuff like that because they weren't getting the nutrients anymore. Okay, because the land had been confiscated by farmers and ranchers, and they were diverting water for hydroelectric and all kinds of stuff. So the entire environment of the white rhino is being decimated. So we had to recreate the environment for the white rhino in those wild animal parks with the lakes and the food and trace mineral salt blocks that they could lick for the salt, but they were getting the trace minerals at the same time. We wouldn't depend on what may or may not be in the soil. And so all those efforts paid off in which they say it paid off beyond our wildest dreams. If we figured if we could get back to 5 or 10,000, we'd be happy. But to have 21,000, oh man, it just really is because it was attracting the environment. It was attracting them in from other parts of Africa and stuff for us. So we're very, very proud of that.
Yeah, that's awesome, Dr. Wallach. But let's get back to the heart and kidneys. Where does the brain and heart pack come into that? You talked about the Ultimate Daily Classic, which is something that you recommend with
That's
many
one of the
different.
secret sauces. That's one of
So
the
the
secret sauces that goes to increase blood flow. If you're on high blood pressure medication, do not cold turkey off of that. But as the blood pressure begins to fall, you can slowly reduce the medication. And usually, again, it takes anywhere from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 weeks to do, depending on how good you are about the bad foods and absorption and so forth. But it's one of those things where if you do everything correctly, this is a permanent fix. Okay, but you have to stay on the correction. As long as you stay on the correction, everything works properly and the body is able to maintain itself, do what it's supposed to do. And again, the reason why the kidney disease in the Black community is 5 times higher than it is in the white community is not because of genetics of the Black community, okay, or the superiority of the white community. Is because of the diet that goes back to the slave days, okay? Now, there were instances where some of the slaves lived longer than, it wasn't every slave, but many of the slaves lived longer than the plantation owners. The plantation owners, they would die in their 40s, 50s, and 60s from heart disease and liver cirrhosis and all that kind of stuff. And the handsful of long-lived slaves, because the average was the slaves would live to be 20 to 22 years, and the white guys, the plantation owners, would live to be 40 to 45 years. That was it. Okay, and so when you had slaves living to be 90 and 100, and the ranchers, okay, these plantation owners are still dying in their 40s, and the Uncle Toms and Uncle Remuses living to be 90 and 100 and 110, that's because they were forced to eat the livers. Well, that's for all the trace minerals were in the animals. The plantation
right.
owners didn't eat livers, they just wanted to eat the steaks.
Well, it's amazing, Dr. Wallach, how the cause and effect of
Yes.
things that goes on not only in our environment but also within our bodies.
Yes, well,
So
our bodies
giving
are part of the microenvironment. We are part of the microenvironment. And when you look at the world, and I've been blessed to have been able to do that. I've been able to travel when I was with the military. I spent so much time in Europe and Asia and Africa with the military, and I learned a lot there because I was working with clinics, field hospitals, and all this kind of stuff. So I'm seeing everything you could think of when somebody unfortunately would be killed. You're doing an autopsy, but you weren't only seeing, the bullet wounds in them, but you were also seeing that they had lung disease, they had kidney disease, they had heart disease, they had these problems. And so I'm learning all this stuff, okay, at that time, from all over the world. So it wasn't just in one little location. I think I had, through the Air Force, I visited more than 40 countries and worked in 40 different countries when I was with the Air Force. And so
I
I'm traveling all over the place.
want to travel the world.
Yeah. And so that's because I had a degree in agriculture. I was a veterinarian and a physician, and I was covering all sort of things. So I'm sort of like not smarter than anybody else, but I had more training that covered more areas than other people. So instead of sending 25 people, they could just send me.
There
As
you
why
go.
yeah, there you go.
There you go. Well, Dr. Wallach, we have some people with our hands up. We also have questions out on YouTube. Let's see how many we can get through and help them preserve their life and those that they love. Folks,
Okay.
just as a reminder, this program is brought to you as a resource for an amazing community of health coaches and longevity associates. So if you were referred to this program by anybody specific, please get back with them. Ask them how they also can get the products and recommendations that Dr. Wallach is recommending, especially if you hear questions that come up that you can relate to. Dr. Wallach is going to be giving the protocols that offer the longevity solution, which Longevity is a company that he founded, but he no longer receives a paycheck from them because he wants to be able to freely be with people and offer information that is life promoting without them saying, well, you're only doing it because you make a buck. Dr. Wallach makes money from the sales of his books, which you can go to drjwallach.com and find all of his books and publications there. But longevity and the products, that's something that he believes in so much that he took himself out of that financial picture so that he could come to you and give the information without being accused of doing so. And that's collecting $1 or recommending just because he collects $1. So, or more. So Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and go to the first hand that is up. And Renee, go ahead and unmute yourself. If you'd like to come on camera, go ahead and turn your camera on as well. But you are on with Dr. Wallach.
Howdy. My grandson about 2 years ago started getting reactions to mosquito bites, and the mosquito will bite him and then it gets really red around the bite and it itches like crazy. Well, my new grandson is 1.5 years old and he's starting to do the same thing. So I was wondering what you thought.
Okay. Well, this can be sort of a inflammatory thing when a mosquito bites you. It's a wound. Okay, it's kind of like a miniature bullet wound. Okay, you get bitten by a mosquito and they're in there pumping their little proboscis in and out, like has little razor blades on the edges of it. Okay, so it's easy for the mosquito. And so it's one of those things where you want to use our colloidal silver on it. Okay, there's no alcohol in it, won't burn. Even for a baby, it won't burn. Put it on a little cotton ball, wet, and then put it on the mosquito bite. But also, you want to make sure that we are repelling the mosquitoes. Our white blood cells and red blood cells and platelets and all that kind of stuff in our skin health. So these babies, when they're little babies, we want them to have our kids toddy. It's a liquid. Okay. And to the kids toddy, you want to add the EFAs. Get our EFAs. You have to puncture the EFAs and squirt one of them into the dose for the kid. And it tells you on the label on the back, it's got a whole list of weights and tells you, how much to give to a baby. And it's a meal replacer for 1 meal a day. Okay. And so if the baby's getting 4 meals or 5 meals of a baby formula like Infamil or Similac or something like that, one of those meals should be replaced with the kid's toddy. Just follow the directions on there and so forth, body weight and so on. And that has, a lot of nutrition in there for the defense system, bone marrow, and the skin and so forth. Also, we want the kids to have a liquid, okay, in addition to the kids' toddy, which is a liquid, so it's easy. And but I would also, make sure that's the colloidal silver, because the colloidal silver will stop the itching and so on. We also want the kid to have something more for the skin. Now, if the mother is breastfeeding the baby, the mother can be taking the 90 essential nutrients. Okay, she can be taking the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the MSM, the Synaptive, okay, and the I-26. She takes all that and it comes through the breast milk into the baby. Okay, that's another way to get it into the baby if she's breastfeeding the baby. Okay, and so let's go that direction. And of course, you want to be outside the house. You want to be hanging those yellow plastic strips with insecticides on it, and so it repels the mosquitoes by the door. So you don't want to be leaving the door open. There may be a little opening in the doors that may be a 1/4 of an inch wide. That's enough for the mosquitoes to get into the house and stuff like that. So you want to be sure that outside the house, you're hanging those little not little, they may be 6 inches long or a foot long or more. Those yellow, maybe 2 inches wide and a 1/4 inch thick. And they're insecticides repel mosquitoes, okay? And so that's another thing you can do. So you can repel the little bad guys, and you can treat with the colloidal silver. Don't forget to support the baby's immune system with the kids' toddy and the EFAs, okay?
So my oldest grandson is 10, but he's a big boy. He's 5'2", 120 pounds. Would
Okay,
he
well,
need more than just a kid's toddy?
oh yeah, of course. If he's 120 pounds, he needs 1 serving a day of the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Okay, that's our big hammer. Okay, especially if he's playing sports and all this kind of stuff. He's, you know, if he's even just walking around the block twice a day, okay, he needs more than just the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, but he also needs the. I'd have him take the Rebound. You know, the one who's a teenager. Does he play sports?
No, not yet.
Okay, but he walks, he does exercise or swims or shoots baskets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he's a typical kid that age and that weight. Okay, and so he does need a Rebound. It comes in sticks. There's 30 of these sticks in a box. There's 100 nutrients in here, and okay, there's 75 minerals and 25 vitamins and amino acids in here. Just stick this in a bottle of water, you know, one of these kind of things, and you have to cut the end off. Don't stick it like this in there. You have to cut the end off. Put the powder in there. I use a funnel so I don't waste any. And we also have the canister. In some countries, okay, like Australia, they only let the canister in. There's 36 servings in the canister in here of the Rebound. We do have the cans, but the cans have the carbonation in them. So you have to pop the cans at night, put them in the refrigerator so they're flat in the morning. All the carbonation is gone by morning time, okay? And again, go by body weight. If he weighs 115, 120 pounds, I'd give him half of one of those with breakfast, and the second half he could have with lunch. Okay, because that's quite a bit for a 100-pound kid. Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
to
you.
see you again. All right, Dr. Wallach, we've got a question out on YouTube, and stork deliveries. She can relate to that, having overreaction to mosquito bites and having them take a very long time to heal. She said that she has some that it's been 4 years and she still has itching from them. But her question is, a few years ago, she went through some genetic testing and they told her that she has factor 5 Linden. She wants IS. She wants to know if it is curable, or is that curable? And
Hey, stop there. What symptoms does that show?
so I know she's got a lot of things that's been mentioned in the past. She's said nobody in her family has that. She developed pulmonary embolisms. And as
Pulmonary
I guess,
embolism, that's a blood clot, and that's due to a deficiency of certain nutrients, okay?
okay,
And that's
so
due to
she's 58
absorption
years
problem.
old,
10 years old.
female, 58,
Okay.
180 pounds, 5'5".
Mm-hmm.
It does say that she's better now, but she is on hydrocodone and acetaminophen for pain. That's pretty
How much
strong pain.
nutrition are you getting from hydrocodone?
None.
None.
In
Okay.
fact, I'm severely allergic to it. So,
Well, hydrocodone just relieves inflammation.
well, yeah, it's
Okay. So anyway, she weighs 180 pounds.
180 pounds, 5'5".
Okay. So she's an overweight female. Okay. So she needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, round oats, no buckwheat. There's no gluten in buckwheat, but buckwheat has FAGO, F-A-G-O pyrines, which are 10 times worse than gluten. Absolutely no sugar, no carbonated drinks, including carbonated soft drinks and carbonated diet drinks and carbonated water. All has to go because carbonation neutralizes stomach acids, so you cannot absorb nutrients, particularly mineral nutrients, and digest food. And then at her body weight, she needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose everything twice a day. She needs 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support and promote her immune system by rebuilding the bone marrow, which makes white blood cells and antibodies and that kind of stuff. And also platelets and red blood cells. She needs the collagen peptides, a scoop of that in the morning with her breakfast drink, a scoop of the evening drink. That's going to take 2 of these sort of small canister size servings of the collagen peptides. And then I want her to have our, let's see here, healthy, let's see, hair, skin, and nails. I want her to have 3 hair, skin, and nails at breakfast and 3 hair, skin, and nails at dinner time. Okay, that's going to take 2 of these little bottles a month. They come in these little bottles, hair, skin, and nails. And that's going to help her rebuild her skin and so forth. But she got to get rid of the bad stuff. She can absorb all this stuff. And I want to know, does she have gray, white, and silver hair? That's not due to aging. That's due to nutritional deficiencies caused by the gluten and the buckwheat and all that kind of stuff. So she needs to watch it. And if she's doing all the right things, within a couple of weeks to a month or so, she's going to start seeing new hair coming in that has her original hair color when she was 12 years old. Black, brown, red, blonde, whatever it was.
Okay, so two more things to add to this. So the factor 5, it prevents the blood from being able to clot. And she's taken the hydrocodone, which is an opiate mixed with acetaminophen, which is the reduce inflammation, because of arthritis. So with those 2 things being said, would you add to or make any adjustments to what you just offered for a protocol?
No, because she's got the MSM, she's got the collagen peptides, okay, and the hair, skin, and nails. All those things deal with cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes your bone itself. And so, again, we deal with professional athletes. You look at somebody like Theo Ratliff, 24 years old. I mean, his knees were gone, his hips were gone. He had fractured a shooting arm wrist. They took a $35 million contract away from him when he was 24 years old. We came up with the healthy bone and joint pack for him. It was just our healthy start pack. And we came up with our first collagen, okay, our glucogel. Okay, we added that to it and made it the healthy bone and joint pack for him. He came back like 3 months later, got his contract back. He played for 11 more years, made $100 million. You think he likes our little project?
Just a little bit, but I just wanted to point something out. So she has arthritis, which is a bone issue.
And she has a deficiency, nutritional deficiency issue. It's not a genetic issue, age issue.
Okay, but then she also has a blood issue, and the blood is manufactured in the bone marrow that's inside the bones. So is there a connection?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
They're both nutritional deficiencies.
Both nutritional deficiencies. And is the nutritional deficiency because of the bone or because of the blood?
Well, the blood cells are made in the bone marrow. Okay. And so, but you need to give the bone marrow the raw materials to make the red blood cells and, the hemoglobin, the platelets and all the kind of stuff. And so she's getting a double hit because of her nutritional deficiencies. And I guarantee you, she's, eating pancakes for breakfast and waffles and bread and spaghetti for lunch every day and all this kind of stuff. Maybe even drinking beer made from wheat. Okay.
Well, you never know. And then
she's getting a source of gluten somewhere.
She's definitely getting a source of gluten somewhere. And because of medications that she's been on in the past has caused renal failure, which I wanted to go back to the kidneys, Dr. Wallach. Now I've heard of the enzyme renin being admitted by the kidneys that then affects the blood. And I know kidneys are also considered renal, like a renal doctor. So is it Rina or renin, or are they interchangeable? Do you know?
Okay, it's Rena is the enzyme that's produced by the kidney, Rena. Renin is a digestive enzyme produced in the stomach. It's spelled differently. This is Rena, not renin.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And next,
like car and cart.
Okay. Well, let's go to the next hand that is up, Dr. Wallach. And John, go ahead and unmute yourself if you'd like to come on camera with us. That'd be fantastic.
You'll get a big glimpse of it.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me turn on this noise.
Nice.
Yeah, please do.
There we go.
Mute,
Yeah.
mute.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I got a broken or no, fractured ankle from a car accident about 4 or 5 days ago. I just need a big hammer to help heal that up.
Okay, how much you weigh?
230.
Okay, get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat and barley, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet drinks, and also the carbonated water need to go. And at 230, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. I only weigh 142, and that's what I take, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. You know, I'm 84 years old, and I can duke it out with the best of them because my daddy was a boxing champion, and he took me to the gym all the time and taught me how to box. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So at any rate, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose twice a day. 2 of the bottles of MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They're going to help support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone, make sure the bone itself. Okay. Then you need the collagen peptides, a scoop of that with your morning drink, a scoop of your evening drink. That's 2 or canisters per month. Okay, to make that happen. And then I also want you to take vitamin D3. That'll make the absorption of these nutrients more efficient. Don't forget, you must get rid of all the gluten and buckwheat to maximize absorption. But throw in the vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. I do that. And I live in Southern California, but I'm not, you know, I get out maybe 2-3 days out of the week. I might go out in the sun for a half hour to an hour. Okay, but I still take my vitamin D3. So I'm absorbing all these nutrients, particularly the minerals. And, you know, I still have, I'm 84 years old. I still have all my own teeth. Okay. Only one got knocked out in a fight in a mall. 3 guys tried to take my packages. We had a fight, me and 3 guys, and guess who won? I only lost a tooth. They lost a lot more. Okay. Probably a quart of blood each. Okay.
Well, Dr. Wallach, John is in pain right now with a broken ankle.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, we have CM cream. You can apply that topically, CM cream. It'll give you about a couple hours of pain. We also have our Soothe. It's from our Hemp FX division. Okay. And
so if he's in a cast, Dr. Wallach, how is he going to apply those things? Are you in a cast, John?
They're getting ready to put one on actually Thursday. I'm on the splint.
Okay.
But I'm okay. I'm okay on the pain part, but I want to, is there anything else I could take with that to help heal it up? I mean, I'm going to get all that stuff.
yeah, well, that'll rebuild your bones very quickly. Instead of taking 6 months to rebuild, it'll take you maybe 2-3 months. And this is something you want to do forever. Okay. Again, I've been doing this since I was 9. I've been doing this for 75 years, and I'm going to continue doing it because I plan on living well beyond 100. Okay. Yeah. And so I've got at least 16 more years to go. And it's one of those things. We do have the Soothe. They come in capsules as well as a topical. The Soothe comes in capsules. Okay. But it does come in this little spray. Okay. If they could leave a hole for you over where the fracture site is, you know, the diameter of say a quarter or 50-cent piece or something like that, we can put the Soothe, spray it in there. Okay. Sometimes it'll kind of freeze up on you. So you have to put it in a teacup full of hot water for 10 minutes and melt it. But we do have the tablets, which you can take orally. Okay. Of the Soothe. It's from our Hemp FX division. There's nothing against the law in any of the products in that Hemp FX division. Okay. But it'll give you some great pain relief for 4 to 6 hours. Okay. So I
that's
have
a good idea.
available to me. Okay.
Sounds good. And can you guys put in the link down here for the health coach training so I can check it out? Like maybe there's a web link in the chat or something and I can check it out later.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you, sir.
You
But
got
keep
it,
us
John.
informed. Yeah, please keep us informed. Okay, so everybody knows how you fared, and your story will help other people. Okay.
Yeah, I was actually down in Southern California when it happened, down in Santa Ana on one of the residential streets. It was pretty busy, so our car's gone. So whatever. But the good
Well,
thing
the
is I
main
can
thing
at
is
least,
you're alive and fired up and ready to go.
okay, thank you. And I'll lower my hand. Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
God bless you, sir.
All right. Thank you, John. And, Dr. Wallach, they have the Soothe, but I really like the Roll It. Roll It, they put it into like a roller bottle that you can just roll across, and comes in a thin little coat. You don't have to get it all
Ready,
over
Mom?
your fingers. All those good things. So,
And this
roll
one
it,
is,
folks.
yeah, it's a roll it.
Yep. Well, no, that's not a roll it.
No,
That's
this
a
mine's
pump
a
with a
spray.
cream.
Yeah.
Yours is a pump with a cream and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. Roll it is so much easier. But let's go to or actually, before we get to TC, I had a question here. So one of our coaches has a client. She is 5'7", 144 pounds. She's been taking the Healthy Body Start Pack 2.5 version, which is what I prefer. And she's moved up to the Brain and Heart Pack with the glucogel, collagen peptides, and it's the collagen peptides joint health, which is fabulous as a tea, and occutive. So she took those all to deal with the back and joint pain that she's having and the eye pain and pressure issues. She's also in the past taken L-lysine for cold sores. Now she has a rash on her neck and is wondering what might be causing the rash. And should she be discontinuing something? So if she's never had this rash, and it's right through here, Dr. Wallach, if you look at me,
Mm-hmm.
she has a rash. It's not in the back of her neck. It's just right here in the front,
Over her throat. Okay.
over her throat. And she's got a history of cold sores,
Okay. Does
which
she have
is,
anything going on with her thyroid?
see, that was my question too. And no, not that she knows of.
Okay. So what she needs to do is, again, get either the Soothe or the CM cream and apply it and see if it makes the rash go away, or if it makes the itching go away, or it does nothing. Okay. That'll help us with the diagnoses. Okay. But it could be the pillow, it didn't get rinsed fully and she's sleeping on.
Well, if it's just now starting, Dr. Wallach, and she's been using this pillow for a while and she's been using the same laundry detergent, could it be part of the detoxification process where the nutrients are flooding the cells?
Well,
And then
detox
maybe there's
doesn't appear just on your throat. It'd be kind of all over the place.
all over.
Yeah. And so it could be a contact rash, okay, because she's wearing laundry, she's had taken to a laundry someplace and they, ran through chemicals and got some chemicals on it. It could be, again, somebody in the household didn't, rinse the clothes properly or something, who knows? Okay. But try the CM cream, try the Soothe on it and see if it gives some relief. Okay, because it was just in one little local area. Okay, it seems to me that's a contact issue.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Now let's go to TC. TC, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you great.
Okay, we got to go quickly here, TC.
Yes. Yes, I called you about a week and a half ago, and you was telling you about my hernia, and you told me what to take. But I had some questions I wanted to ask you about the MSM. How many of those am I supposed to take?
How much you weigh?
I mentioned I'm 150. I'm 67, and 5'9".
Okay. And so is this a hernia in your groin area or your belly button or where?
No, it's a left inguinal hernia.
Okay, inguinal. Okay. And so we're talking in your groin area.
And you
right?
told me about the Brain and Heart Pack and the collagen peptides, the hair, skin, and nail, and the daily classic
Yeah.
tablet.
And so, but I also told you to get, if you didn't have it, to get one of those belts with a pad to hold everything in.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Also, you want to tilt the bed so
Yes.
that the hernia is going away from the hole. Put something under the feet of the bed. Okay, so that the
Yes,
hernia mass is
you did tell
going
me that.
inside instead of outside, right?
Yeah, I remember that. But you told me about taking the MSM, and I want to know how many MSMs do I take with the meals?
Okay, well, what I would do, and you weigh 180 pounds?
150.
150. Okay, I weigh 142 and I take 3 twice a day. Okay, and so it wouldn't hurt. You could take 3 times a day of MSM. It won't hurt you. They could speed up the healing process. They're going to not only relieve inflammation, but they're also going to give your body the nutrients it needs to repair that hernia. Hernias occur when you get a tear in the connective tissue. They're holding 2 walls of muscles together, and that hernia splits that connective tissue, and so suddenly now the guts come out, the hole. Okay. So you got to hold everything in place and let it heal by giving it all the raw materials and holding it in place with that belt and the pad. And then at night when you're sleeping, I do this all the time, deal with athletes that have these things. Okay, professional athletes and university athletes and Olympic athletes. And that's been, and in the military, that gave me a real blessing, because I'm treating very large numbers of people with the same type of musculoskeletal problems. Okay, hernias, very common. And so I've been able to deal with literally thousands of people over the years with these things. So I've learned a lot. And I think I'm a little ahead of the curve when it comes to helping people with that, because I tell you that 2 or 3 or 4 things you can do at the same time, whereas doctors want to do surgery and everything like that, but they still haven't solved the problem. They can close the hernia with surgical suture, but they haven't solved the problem because they didn't give the body what it needed to heal and repair the damage that was going on because of lack of nutrients or lack of absorption of nutrients, or both, and so on. And so this is not difficult, but it does take, what should I say? It does take a commitment. That's what I'm looking for. It takes a commitment to doing all the right things at the same time. Some people, well, I'll try this. Well, that didn't work. I'll try that. Well, that didn't work. I'll try this. No, you want to try them all at the same time. And that way you're coming at this hernia from the point of putting all the pieces together, taking the pressure off from the inside, helping or making gravity help you instead of defeat you, and so forth. And then you're taking the nutrition to help heal again. And so this is, you're coming at this from many different directions, and that's why you're going to be successful. Okay.
Okay. Did you say take 1 MSM 3 times a day, or 1 pill?
No, 3.
3 times a day.
Yes, 3.
Okay. Now I want to ask you about that, because MSM is it's a mineral, isn't it? And does it bond?
No, it's a collection. It's a collection
It's a what?
of ingredients.
Yeah, it's more than a single ingredient, which is one thing that I love about the longevity products is they don't use just single ingredients. They include the cofactors that allow the body to be able to utilize the nutrient to its greatest potential.
So it doesn't bond with phytochemicals inhibiting nutrient absorption with the meals, like
It
minerals.
should not, no.
No, these are nutrients.
Okay.
These are nutrients. They're not going to inhibit any nutrition you're going to get in your food.
Okay. Now, I had a couple other
Dr.
questions.
Wallach has to go,
have to
TC.
go
I'm
now.
sorry to cut you off, my dear friend. So Dr. Wallach, thank you
Over here
again for
tomorrow.
joining us, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you, thank you. And folks, we will see you also tomorrow. We want to thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. If I could get my co-hosts to come on the screen with me, I could not do this without them. This is a team effort, as we are here to support an even bigger team of health coaches and associates within the longevity family. We have Sherry, who has been doing a fabulous job and watching all the cameras and making sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do and letting them into the room in a timely manner. So thank you, Sherry, for doing that. That's very important, because if they couldn't get in, they wouldn't hear a thing, would they? And we have Marilyn, who has been listening intently on what Dr. Wallach recommends, and also the conditions that he is addressing, and retyping that into the chat here live, which is one of the advantages of being here live with us, is being able to see that information in the chat so that you can take a screenshot of it. Now, we do not allow any copying or saving of our notes for HIPAA purposes. We want to maintain the security, safety of our people that we have on with us. So we don't allow that. And actually the FDA frowns on it greatly. And we just, not that we're friends with them in the first place, we just don't want them shutting us down for any reason whatsoever. So Marilyn, thank you so much for doing that. And for AJ helping me in getting everything connected so that we are live stream. He's keeping track of the different chats that are out there. He is just doing a great job, and we finally get to see his face. Sportus, thank you. So folks, we come from all different areas of the country. We're not all in the same city. In fact, we're from East Coast, West Coast, and right in between, working together. And that's one thing I absolutely love about what we do, is there are no boundaries. I see on the show that we have people around the world, South Africa and the UK I saw, Canada I saw, Mexico, and even Nigeria. I mean, the whole world needs the nutrition that we're talking about today. The whole world is affected by nutritional deficiencies. Join us in helping reach every square inch of this great blue and green earth that we call home, and helping to preserve life, folks. Some of us may not want to be 120 years, and the good Lord is going to call us home when he's good and ready to call us home. But when I get to that day, I want to be enjoying life and not going from day to day, wondering if I'm going to make it. And you can do the same thing too. So thank you again for joining us. I see we got Tennessee on here as well. Welcome everybody, and South Carolina and West Virginia. My goodness, we've got lots of different locations on. And wherever you are and watching this, you are important, and you are worth the investment of time in listening to this information, and also in putting the nutrients into your body. Folks, we do have a certified holistic health coach course that tells all about the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, and how we use the longevity products as a solution. But we go deeper. We go deeper into the whole 8 areas of life. And that includes the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, all those different things, the physical, they play into wellness, holistic wellness. If you would like to learn more about that program, go to coachwithbecca.com. That's coachwithbecca.com. Now, for those of you who are watching, get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there's nobody to thank and you would like to speak with a certified holistic health coach to see exactly what you need to be able to take back your life, I have a call team standing by at 855-949-3377. Again, 855-949-3377. And if you have questions that you would like to submit and are good at email and technology, you can always go to our website, dailywithdoc.com, and use that contact option. Now, Daily with Doc is not an email address. You have to go to the website, and then from the menu, click contact, and you can send us an email through that little form that pops up. And make sure that you're also connected with our newsletter. We send out a weekly newsletter that then gives you links and descriptions to the previous week's calls so that you can easily share them with people. Folks, information is knowledge, and it's very valuable, especially when it comes to things that you can do yourself in supporting life, supporting your cells. The body can do some amazing things. So Thank you again for joining us here on Daily with Doc. Thank you again to my co-hosts. And I want to do a special shout out to Jonty McCollier, who he maintains our websites. And even when we have some little things going on, he's on top of it to try to figure out what is going on. And folks, if you've tried to use the website lately and things just weren't quite working out, by the end of the day, that should be fixed. So until next time, bye for now. Oh, I'm Becca Dukes, hostess of Daily with Doc. Bye for now.